So before I start my next one, I just want to give a shout out to Skip, who gave a great presentation earlier today on how to nurture leads. So I hope everyone did sign up to get the sequence and the emails that he offered you. It's a fantastic offer because it's, going to help out your business a lot if you actually go ahead and follow through with that. I am going to go ahead and let you know a really easy way to get more leads without spending money on advertising and leveraging your relationships with other people in the industry. We do these all the time, and they're webinar exchanges. It's basically a swap. It's an easy thing to do, but it does require a little bit of organization and a little bit of planning just to set it up nice so it works smoothly and everyone ends up happy at the end, both parties. Again, it is super cost effective. It really only takes organization and effort on both parts. So it's basically a return to the barter system. Each party schedules their own event and the other party markets for it. So the concept is very simple. And everything that is registered for your event is basically a brand new lead for you and ditto for the other person. So to get set up and get started, it's pretty simple. You can do a really basic one. All you need is a place to hold the event that people register for. Could be WebEx, could be GoToWebinar, could be Join.me, could be any number of those other inexpensive GoToWebinar wannabes. The point is, find something. If you're not sure about it, test it. Try it, or go ahead and invest in GoToWebinar or WebEx. Perhaps you can get a trial. You need a landing page. It could be as simple as the GoToWebinar registration page, those plain blank white ones that everyone just uses when they create a GoToWebinar and they don't go through the effort of making a custom landing page for it. You could use you need a CRM to keep track of your contacts. That's your contact database. It could be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet to start out. That quickly gets out of hand. But you can start out for your first couple, if you're just building your list, if you've only got a small list of emails right now, you don't even need a real CRM at this point. You could just start out with an Excel sheet, just keep track of stuff, and then when it becomes difficult to handle, then get into something that you actually need to spend money on. Or you could use one of the free services. There are some kind of open source ones. Zoho has a free version of theirs, and a lot of people use it, and some people find it enough for their needs. After the webinar, you import your registrations for follow-up. Or if you're using some better systems, you don't need to import anything or export anything. It's already just tagged and piped into yours, and you can just send a follow-up, which could be the emails that Skip gave you. And then when you're setting this up, what do you give your partner and what do you need from your partner? So what your partner is going to expect from you is a registration link that they're going to send their contacts to register, and copy. They're going to want to know, well, what is the email we're going to send them that includes this link, or what is the social posting that we're going to put in front of these people? What does it say? What do you want to say? What's your copy? Do you have any images? Do you have a headshot of the speaker? Do you have a short bio of the speaker? That sort of thing. So essentially, you're just sending them, here's your link, here's everything that's okay to say about the event, some suggested subject lines, and you get that in return and do the same thing. So extras, if you really want to get fancy and have the whole thing work smoother and or look better, you can use a landing page builder, something like ClickFunnels or Lead Pages. We use both for different things. You could even do the landing pages in a separate template in WordPress, so it's not exactly like your regular pages, so it doesn't have the extra navigation. You just have the one call to action to join the event. You want to do something like that so it's not just the plain white GoToWebinar interface, but it makes it look better, it makes it look more professional. It's going to increase the number of registrations per visit to your registration page. A business email solution is recommended for doing follow-ups, although you can limp along doing it yourself if the lists are really small, or you could use something that's a little bit less feature-rich. Something like Constant Contact would still be okay. I recommend Campaign Monitor. We've been using it for a while. It has fantastic features and really competitive price. It's very competitive with MailChimp and Aweber. Both are also great solutions too. It really depends on what you need. Referral tracking. If you're only doing the swap with one other person, which is pretty much what I'm talking about here today, there's more complicated versions where you have other people and you want to be able to track whether it was person A, B, or C that sent that lead and know that. If you're just doing it with one other person sending you traffic, then you know everything that's coming in for that is coming from that person, and you can just tag everything as coming from that referral. Marketing software, the CRM stuff, that helps immensely with keeping track of everything and having something that's tied into an automated marketing follow-up. It really, really helps. Infusionsoft includes all of that. Greenrope is something like that. Zoho has a free version of a CRM and some of these features. Salesforce, of course, would be the big dog that everyone integrates with, but does one thing. It doesn't do your automated follow-ups, so you'd have to have another thing, another piece of software to do the marketing. But you can start with Excel. You just need a place to keep the leads. So like if you're doing it with Excel and just having, if you have a guy like, say Joe Trader is gonna send Scott's webinar a bunch of leads, if it's just him and he's just sending that stuff to my event, I don't really need to know anything else other than everything that's coming into that event comes from him, and then when I drop that list into my Excel sheet, I just add in that column of who it came from, I just mark him as Joe. But if we're doing with more people, then we'll have different URLs for the different people participating so that all happens automatically inside your CRM as the leads come in. It just makes everything faster, it takes care of the piping. When you're actually doing the setup for this, the first step is you need to figure out who you're going to partner with. You don't want to partner with someone who's going to compete directly for your dollar. You want to partner with someone who is going to have a complementary business. Now, as a software vendor, our referral partners are not other software vendors. They're users of our software. You know, it works out because the referral partners who run trading rooms, who have a trading system that they teach, who are involved in that kind of way, don't compete with us at all. People who write books about trading, about managing trader psychology, about managing your head while you're trading, they're not competing with us at all. They're the perfect partners for us for this type of trade, for this type of swap. In fact, we do swaps and we also do co-marketing webinars with a lot of our referral partners. It's just, it pools the leads, it helps people generate new leads for that fresh blood into the system, and we have a lot higher conversions by huge factors from leads that we get from these partner swaps compared to any other media that we buy. So when we're doing advertising and we get a bunch of leads from, say, doing an email blast with someone like Bar Chart, we might get 1,000 leads off of one of their blasts, but the conversion rate is going to be so much smaller than those 200 leads we got from an email swap. And it cost us nothing, except for a few minutes of time to set up and hold the webinar. So it's the value proposition of doing this kind of stuff, it's like everyone should really be doing it. So if you have in your mind of anyone whose clients you'd like and they're not competitors, talk to them about doing a swap. If it's like, you know, hey, the people who read Jane's blog, they'd be natural subscribers to us, and our people would like to hear what she has to say, so why don't we have her over to talk to our people? She'll send her people here to talk to us, and it's a natural fit. The next step is just scheduling. You don't have to have it on the same day. It could be different days. That doesn't matter. But you need to schedule it and create it in GoToWebinar or WebEx or whatever the platform is that you use. And then there's a couple ways to do step 3. The basic way to use step 3 is, hey, just roll with that ugly, plain, whatever GoToWebinar gives you. That's fine. It'll work. However, what that's not going to do for you, it's not going to send the submissions anywhere. So at the end of the webinar, you're going to have to download the spreadsheet from GoToWebinar and then import that into your database. Although something GoToWebinar did add recently was the ability to track different, I think I have a slide on this shortly, but GoToWebinar did add a little bit of tracking for this to it, but it's still very basic. You still have to drop the list and then import it somewhere else. The better way to do it is if you have some more tools, you can make a nice high converting page that does things like have a countdown timer, customize it, and it saves you time so that you don't have to actually write the HTML. You can start from a template that's pretty close to where you want to be. You know it's going to convert, plug in the information you want. It sounds cheesy, but yeah, it works. you'll go from converting under 50% off that GoToWebinar thing to over 65, 70% of the people that hit the page if you're sending to the right list. And you'll also, with most of the tools like ClickFunnels or Lead Pages or Unbounce or similar, you'll be able to pipe any of the leads that come in wherever you want. So you could have, as soon as someone clicks submit, that lead goes to GoToWebinar, it goes to your email marketing system, it goes into your CRM, and the person gets an automatic follow-up, and you already have everything tagged appropriately in your database for the welcome email sequence. Yeah, source tracking. I knew that was on here. So GoToWebinar did finally add this. I think they added it late last year, where you can actually create different source names, and so that when you do drop the list, after you've given everyone their own, well, so what this does, so if you create a name in here, like January Newsletter Create, so then when January Newsletter sends you leads, it's got a parameter on the URL that they're using that just marks that as coming from them, so that when you drop the list, you'll know and you'll be able to tag it appropriately. You can also do this with marketing software if your marketing software allows for that. You can set up ways to do this using Google UTM parameters, using unique, or another easy way to do this if you don't want to get into anything fancy is if you're only dealing with maybe 2 partners that you're matching with or just one, just duplicate the landing page you made and have the form submit action on each of those pages, do the different tag from the hidden field. It's just kind of an easy way to do that. You don't need any extra software. And if you're just dealing with 1 or 2 people, it's sometimes the easiest way to do it.
Scott, it might help in the future for us to maybe do some videos of what you're doing here so that people can reference some of that online.
Yeah, video tutorials would be great. It doesn't fit the format.
Important to know that, and I keep
In fact, perhaps this might be the video tutorial.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just thinking about how little I know of the details of some of this stuff, and it made me think how it's important to be able, for people who are just getting started. Yeah,
none of this is really that complicated. It just requires some coordination and just doing the steps and then sending things out. Step 5, is you're going to need the copy, and then you need to send that copy to someone. So you've written to your exchange partner. You send them the emails that you want sent out. So there's a couple ways to do it. If you know that your exchange partner has the capability of taking HTML emails in and importing them into their email system and sending those, and you have the capability to produce those, feel free to do that. A lot of partners I work with are not going to do that. We just send Word documents with a suggested text copy and the URLs and suggested subject lines, and work with that, because they're just going to open up Constant Contact, copy paste into their template they already use, throw in a picture of Dan or whoever's speaking as the presenter, put the bio in there and send that out to their people. And we generally do the same thing. Although occasionally you'll wind up working with someone that will send you an HTML, which is nice, if they made it nice. That can sometimes be a little questionable with their design decisions, but it is a couple ways that can be couple ways that you can achieve the same results. So again, the minimum, you want to just include the text, suggest a couple subject lines, and make sure they have the right link, and probably some information about the presenter. And then you actually do the swap, and that's where the magic happens. You get leads, and then you need to follow up with them. So what both parties do is they do the setup steps that I just described. Both parties are delivering to each other. Here's the copy for the emails, here is the link, and then they come to your webinar. So everyone is sharing these things, and you hold your event, and then you get your leads. So what happens if the person I was working, what happens if I'm just starting out and I have a small list, and I'm working with someone that's got a little bit more people in their database? You want to set expectations to be realistic. Just say to, tell them up front in the beginning, hey, I might not get you 200 leads this time, but if I don't get that much, I'll do another mailing for you for one of your other events. Just for that event, you don't have to return it just to make up whatever I'm missing. You just want to engage, you don't make that an obstacle. Don't let that be an obstacle to get in the way of you participating in this. You can always just do a make good. But what you want to achieve at some point is parity. And that will be something you'll be able to figure out once you have a decent sized list and you know who you're dealing with. You'll know, okay, for this event, that person's going to be able to send me about 400, so that means for their event, I need to mail to my list 3 times. You'll know that after a while, once you do this a few times. But at the beginning, you'll kind of have to feel that out. But generally what's accepted in this kind of exchange is you get close to what the other person is sending you. So when I do an exchange with someone that I do an exchange with on a frequent basis, I'll know that I'm probably going to get 400 leads from them, so I'm going to mail to them 3 or 4 times. And I can check the opens and the clicks on my emails that I'm sending out and have a pretty good idea what their registrations actually are from those clicks. Or I can just ask them, hey, it's Monday, your event's tomorrow, we've mailed for you twice, how many leads have you gotten so far? Oh, great, you've already gotten 250, fantastic, I'll do one more send and we're good. Or, oh my, you've only got 100, I better send twice before that and try and get you up there. But it's something that's very easy to work out. Don't let that scare you off of it. Don't let that get in the way of getting going, because these are some of the highest converting leads for no money that you will ever get. And that's why we continue to do these all the time. Very important, have a follow-up. These are leads, these are money. Don't let them hit the floor. Follow up with them. It's just like any kind of sales thing. If you get a lead, if you get a list of leads, you call those leads right away. You don't sit on them. And this is where you'd want to contact Skip or use Skip's emails as a great way to get your email sequence fleshed out and get started and start to get these leads converting. Some other items you want to do mention, because someone else is sending people to you, do mention during the presentation, hey, I'm going to reach out to you again after this, just so they know that. But the most important thing is just reach out to them right away. If you get a bunch of leads, sit on them for a month, they're not going to remember who you were when you contact them. As Skip was saying in his presentation, you want to send them emails, and more frequently than you probably think, to let them know you're going to be communicating with them and have a good cadence. Don't overwhelm them, but let them know you're going to be talking to them. And we can go through some questions now if you can ask about this. I am a strong believer in these exchanges insofar as the value of them. Like this, we do them sometimes where we only get 100 new leads, but you know what? Those are 100 good leads. This is not just stuff from an email blast that's never going to convert.
Scott, I think what you're pointing out to is the importance of this non-paid for technique, where it's relationship building that leads to the higher conversions versus just the simple mass kind of approach that a lot of people take, especially if you have money. There's this tendency to try to
spend it.
To just spend
Yeah.
it. Whereas what we're doing is we're attempting the personal, individualistic approach when we're marketing, conveying kind of like a personal experience versus you just got caught in a net experience.
Well, you talking about it like that, it brings to mind that this is targeted advertising in a way. It's because you're selecting the partner you're going to do the exchange with, and this is going to be someone who's complementary to your business. Like Trade Ideas and E-Trade doing one together makes sense because we're actually not directly competing at all. They provide data too, but their execution platform and so much more. They're the broker. Michael Naus would be a good person to do an exchange with. I've had a shared webinar with Sean Dekmar.
Sean's was great.
Yeah, and we did an even more simple model. We did one event that Sean mailed to and we mailed to, and we brought both parties together. And that's another way to do it. There's different ways to do these exchanges. The one I outlined is the very simple one-and-one. We do yours, you do ours. And that's the most common way that you'll find most people want to do it. But you can, if you can figure out different ways to do this, if you have 2 people that are going to do a mailing for you for one event, and then you're going to do mailings for both of theirs, that's fine too. The setup is basically the same. You might want to make sure that the tagging and the attribution for the leads that come in is handled appropriately depending on what you're doing.
And as a company, by the way, that allows us to help you, because when we did our exchange with Sean, when we saw how good he was, we immediately wanted to work with him more, and that's why he's here and presenting tomorrow.
Yeah, and from our standpoint, it's a great way to support our referral partners as well. It's a very, with our referral partners, it's really a no-brainer. Any referral partner that has a good proposition to talk, like a good thing to communicate, good knowledge to share with our users, that's someone that we will want to partner with for one of these exchanges and see how it goes. And we've had some that didn't really work out because it turned out to be not something that was complementary to us, and we got bad feedback from our database, and we didn't do another partnership with those people again. And our database probably didn't convert with them either because it wouldn't have actually jibed. One of these I'm thinking of was a bit of a, it wasn't Tim Sykes, but it was someone who was a bit of a snake oil-y kind of guy like that. And we didn't do enough due diligence on scheduling that one. It just kind of came up real quick, seemed like a good one to do. They were ready to do it, so we tried it, and we got bad feedback from our database, so we didn't do it. But most of these come out to be fantastic, and in most cases, we get 400 to 500 new leads, and they convert. We're happy with it. We like this kind of program. It's as long as you're selective with the partners that you interact with, you will have a positive experience.
Scott, I want to touch upon one more thing, which is the timing. And a lot of times, timing is everything. And it seems like in this particular case, we're in an environment where individuals, like our affiliate partners and us, can really take advantage of the kind of technology that you have with like GoToWebinar and whether it's Skype or all the things that you brought up, which is where has there been another time like now where you can compete, a company like ours can compete as effectively on the marketing for subscription dollars as a billion-dollar company because we're aiming ourselves better.
Yeah, Dan raises a good point there. He just mentioned how as even a small company like Trade Ideas is able to leverage all of the new technology like GoToWebinar, Skype, just online tools to spread our message and communicate with people in ways that this was just not available to a company our size 20 years ago. We would have had to be a much larger company to reach this many people, to be able to show people things. Not only are our referral partners kind of our sales team, but our webinars themselves are a great way for us to answer all those buyer questions that our prospects have without us having to schedule individual demos and individual calls with everyone. It's scalable. If we suddenly get an influx of 1,000 more leads in a week than we normally get, you know what? There's just more people in our webinars. That's fine. I don't have to worry about staffing up 5 additional salespeople to call all these guys. So we can handle the extra traffic, which is a really good place for us to be.
And at the affiliate level, the affiliates benefit from that instantly because they're not hindered by our ability to process the sales, which lets them help themselves.
And something important to consider also with the referral partner model that we have is our referral partners, we're not expecting them to sell our product. We're doing that. Mm-hmm. We are just asking for our referral partners to introduce excellent potential clients. So they're kind of our pre-screeners. You know, if someone is approaching Jane about learning how to trade, they are going to be potential Trade Ideas clients. So that is, you know, that's someone she can send to us, and we're going to close them. All she has to do is give them a recommendation and say, hey, you need market information. You know who I trust? I trust Trade Ideas. You just use my link. They'll help you out. They're good people. And as our net performance score that we've done a couple times in the last 2 years indicates, we're on the way up. We had a good one to begin with. It improved even more. Since so many of our referral partners have been users of our software and love our software before they even become referral partners, we have a good connection with most of them, and they genuinely believe in our product, which is a very important thing when it comes to endorsements. Insincere endorsements just don't really work for very long, and they don't work very good.
Scott, if I can add one thing to this, which is I think something that is missed a little bit by people, but the referral business and our affiliate partnership is so good for one thing that we haven't mentioned yet, which is, as you know, the market is open when?
Well, the U.S. markets is open daytime, but the world markets never close, so it depends on what question you're asking.
So what we cater to, the Trade Ideas market is primarily a 5 days a week.
Yeah, 5 days a week, California
our
time.
Business and our subscription-based business is open 24/7, 365. So our affiliate marketing partners and business partners, they make money 24/7 every day through closing leads without needing to have the market open.
Yeah, that is true, especially partners that have the ability to Well, it's beyond, there's no real time constraint on it because someone could be clicking a link that a referral partner gives out at any time of day or night, and then they could be making the buy decision at any time of day or night. So there's no open market or closed market where we're concerned. But something that is also really good about the referral partner model, as I was mentioning, is like we are taking care of all the convincing, we are taking care of answering all the buyer questions. All the referral partners need to know is that they can believe in Trade Ideas as being the most legit financial intelligence company out there, and we're also the leading one in regards to the technology. And no one else has a robot that's beating the S&P like we do, and we're proving it. And it's being a referral partner with us now is really the place to be. I mean, there's plenty of guys with that'll do a photo op in front of some expensive cars or a yacht and throw some $100 bills around and try and tell you how they're going to make you millions. And
or with Mr. Wonderful at some wine tasting.
Well, you never. But Mr. Wonderful can open those doors for you that no one else can.
For a fee.
What, he charges?
Only at the wine tasting.
Yeah, so would anyone else like to talk about anything else before we take a short break and then reconvene for the advanced workshop in Trade Ideas?
I'd like to just comment on the advanced stuff, like Sean, what you were talking about, and Michael. When we take a break, that would be a great opportunity to chat with Skip and really get some of that stuff coordinated. And of course, for everyone who's tuning in online, Skip had already at the beginning of the presentation sent his links. I would say that it's often the most difficult thing is getting started, and that's really what we're going to focus on after the break is those steps to get going.
Yeah, and raising that point about the most difficult thing is getting started. Yeah, it is. It's getting that initial momentum, and that's why when I was talking about doing a webinar exchange, I wanted to pick something that's easy to do. You don't really need to invest in a CRM. You don't need to invest in a lead page publishing service. You can do it with the tool. You can do it with an Excel spreadsheet, a constant contact account, and just a GoToWebinar or WebEx account or similar. And that's all you need to do it at a very basic level, just matching with one other person, there you go. If you want any of the extras like the high converting web pages, the ability to just manipulate templates to knock out new versions really quickly, manage different tracking URLs and pipe your leads into the appropriate different management software pieces that you're using in your stack, then you need to start to do some research and invest on what's right for you. But you really don't need much to get started doing it on a basic level. And it doesn't really require very much setup. The first one you do will kind of be a pain. You might forget to do something. You might forget to send your partner the copy in enough time for them to get it in the email, and they might just kind of wing it. But you learn those lessons pretty quick right away, and then it becomes a smooth operation once you have all the pieces dialed in. And then you can just expand from there and do your own version of it. Maybe you'll do a group and you'll have a series of speakers covering different topics, all registering for the same event, and you're all sending your audience to that event. We recently participated in something like that as well. And you get invited to participate in other things too. We just sponsored Warrior Trading's giveaway, and we're just giving away a year of Trade Ideas, and that was really all we had to do to participate in that. And it's helping us out too because they're a referral partner. We've done exchanges with them for regular lead webinar exchanges also. But yeah, no, it's that the point is getting started and getting over that first hurdle. Pick something easy to do that you can get results from. So do some of these swaps, get those new leads in, get the conversions creating money for you, and then that'll fund buying the marketing software that you think you need to make it happen smoother and save you some time in actually following up with those leads and nurturing them into becoming clients and believers in your service. Any other questions for now? Or should we go ahead and take a break for 15 and then come back? Good. All right, I'll see you all in about 15. Thanks, guys.